Welcome to JohwaTech Electrical Contractors Limited YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install and activate Hexcell utility prepaid meter model number DDSY1088. This is a split keyboard meter which is manufactured by Hexcell. It consists of two parts. One is the MCU. This is measurement and control unit. The other part is UIU or CIU. This is customer interface unit or user interface unit. MCU and CIU, they communicate through PLC. This model of the meter was made in China the year 2020, but in Kenya we are terminating them as a new model of the meter, and the year is 2022. If you look on the front of this meter, it has very important details, one being meter number. The meter number is this number that starts with 46, and this is the number in Kenya when we are purchasing token. We normally call it a count number. It has also some details like rating of the voltage. The rating is 230 volts, 5/80 amperes. They also have some other details. Some may not be important to layman person, but for electrician and engineers, it is a thing of concern. As an electrician, if you look on this meter, the front side has a wiring diagram of how you are supposed to wire or terminate this meter. So first thing first, we are going to do termination. We are going to do the installation of the meter, and for us to do the installation, we need electrical materials. Like one, we need a DIN rail, and the other thing we need is the MCB double poles rated C63, and we also need some wires or cables, and these cables are supposed to be single core threaded wires. The cables must be copper because even the terminals for this meter is copper. It is advisable to use copper, if not so aluminum, but I'll stick to copper because when you mix copper and aluminum, these are two different metals which are not recommended. So we have a copper wire or copper cables, 6.0 millimeter. The rating of the cable is also very important, and I always advise all electricians or everyone who is an electrical professionals to use the light size of the cable. In our video, if you look the size of the cable, you can tell this is 6.0 millimeter, good for this meter termination. It is recommended, if you are terminating this meter, kindly use a cable more than 3 millimeter, 6 millimeter. If the house that you're doing the meter separation was done with the less rating size of cable, like let's say less than 4 millimeter, then you are advised, or let's say it should be strictly, what you're supposed to do is that the diameter for the cable that you're going to use on the terminals of the meters, it should be of the light size of cable, which is 6.0 millimeter or 4.0 millimeter, but I recommend 6.0 millimeter. So if the houses were done by 2.5 millimeter cable, then what you're supposed to do as an electrician, at the end of the cable, you should clamp them with a suitable size of copper to avoid poor wiring contact and burnout on the terminals of the meter. So as for me, because now clamping these cables which are clamping these cables which are 2.5 millimeter, it can be more work. I would advise someone to use 6.0 millimeter, depending on the load of the house. But in this case, talking of single rooms, whereby maybe you have a socket and one point of lighting, or maybe just a point of lighting, you can use the light size of cable, and then you make a joint where the light size of cable and the 2.5 millimeter cable meet, and then by doing so you'll be on the safe side. Once we have all the electrical materials that we needed, that is Dinlel, MCB double poles, some few gypsum clothes or self-tapping clothes, the light size of cable, then we can start our mounting process. So we start by mounting the Dinlel, and our Dinlel, if it is longer than your meter box, you can cut to the desirable size. Once we mount our Dinlel on our meter box, and I always say it is good to use or to have a good meter box. Our meter box or our utility meter box is supposed to be metallic, and if in case you find a meter box which has a wooden material inside, like 6-ply, 9-ply, you can reinforce it with a print sheet or a flat sheet which is metallic. Then after that you can mount the rail, and after mounting the rail, the next thing to do is mounting the MCB double poles rated C63. You mount them and make sure the spacing interval is the same. Once you are done with the mounting of double poles, then you can mount the MCUs or the meters. These meters, for you to mount them, is tricky. You're not supposed to mount the Dinlel for the meters first. Otherwise, for this model of the meter, if you do so, it's going to give you a very hard time. So you make sure that you fix the meters first before you screw or you mount the Dinlel. Once you fix them all, then you can mount the Dinlel together with the meters. Once you're through with the mounting process, I'm assuming now you have mounted your double poles, you have mounted your MCUs. Then we start wiring process. The wiring or the termination, we start with double poles. You have to loop all the double poles. If it is the hot or the live wire, you have to loop them all. For the live, use the lens color of the cable, and for the neutral or the return, use the black. Once you're done with looping of the double poles, then we start by supplying the power to the meters. I'm saying we start by supply cables, whereby the cables are supposed to be terminated on the lower side of the double poles, and we start by in our video we have started with lead. You can start with any color, and then you finish with the other color. Now you can start by one double pole, and then you do both, you go to the next. So in our video we started with lead cable. As you can see, it is advisable, once you strip your cable, which I'm assuming is 6.0 millimeter and above, you have to back fold it. This will help your double poles or the meter or meters terminals to hold that cable properly or very firm once you tighten your screw. Otherwise, without back folding your cable, you may realize that once you put the cable down once, it may slide and boom, you don't have any termination. For the 10.0 millimeter cable, you don't have to backfold. Reason is that cable, or the thickness of that cable, is enough for the terminal to hold it firmly. During your wiring process, make sure that you avoid coiling or turning your cable, especially more than 2 or 3 turns. This may increase induction. So make sure you straighten your cables properly and beacon, so that you don't end up terminating the cable longly. If you look on our video, you can if you look in our video, you can be able to see that this meter, it has 2 presses on the front with the wiring diagram. This is to make sure that any electrician who is terminating this meter does not go wrong. If you look on our terminal cover, it has a wiring diagram clearly drawn that there is live and there is neutral. These are the mains, and there is live in, there is N in, live in and in. So your wire, the mains or the supply cables should be lead, goes to terminal 1, and then neutral goes to terminal 2. So once the red or the live wire goes in terminal 1, then there is a relay. We talk about this relay later, and then after relay, our current goes out through number 3 or through terminal 3. And for the neutral, it goes in with terminal number 2 and then goes out with terminal number 4. So no mistake, or there is no reason for you to make the mistake at all. After termination or the wiring, you can use just realize these meters does not come with a seal. So once you lock your meter with the terminal cover, it has a screw, you can tighten it. There are some electricians who are not conversant with this prepaid meter, and a customer or a client will hire an electrician who maybe is not qualified, because I'm assuming every qualified electrician is the only person who is supposed to be doing this installation or any maintenance. So those electricians, they end up opening this terminal cover, and once this terminal cover is removed, your meter will go to tamper mode. So to avoid that, you can use your seal. In our video, we used a strand of a wire, and we gently inserted into our screw, as you can see, like that, and then we twisted it. This is to make sure that if in case someone who is claiming to an electrician comes and try to open this meter, definitely it will give him or her hard time, and as a wise person, this he or she is supposed to rethink, why is this wire or why is this seal here? So our meter will be safe and to not go on tamper mode. Keenly make sure your wiring is okay. The supply cables are fine, the road cables are fine. Then once you are certain, we are now going to power our meters. Remember, when you are doing termination, all the power was off. That's mandatory. The power, when you are doing any termination, the power should be shut off. So the next step will be powering our meters, and as you can see, you put our double pole, MCB double pole on, and boom, our meter is now powered with the our meter is powered. You can see on our meter, the front side, there is pass, there is tamper, and there is credit. This is communication, and as I said, this MCU communicates with the CIU through PLC. So that's done. Looking on our video, you can see some preparation of utility meters installation. I always recommend a well job done, because a good job is a credit to you and to your client. So this is a preparation. This was a preparation of meters installation. Good job always is a credit. The next step is unboxing the CIU or UIU. You can call it CIU or UIU. This is user interface unit, and if you look here we are unboxing our CIU or our UIU consists of 4 AAA batteries, there is power cable which is a 3-pin, there is some screws and wall plugs, that is to mount our CIU, and then our UIU inside there is a card. This is a user card, and it only has your account number or your meter number. Simply this is your identification card, your identity card, and our identity here is the meter number. So looking on this CIU, it has some instructions behind it, and it's always good to read instructions. So the first instruction says you're not supposed to remove or replace battery when access to grid power. This is simply means you're not supposed to remove or to replace those batteries when you are connected or when you have connected your CIU to the socket, wall socket in this case. And the second precaution says that remove battery if not use for a long time. And the third one says that when appears and the third one says when appears BAE and then there is loss or PLCL on display, this is on the LCD screen, then you are supposed to replace your batteries. And then you also have a manual. Most electricians don't go through the manual because they assume they already know, but things are different. It's good to always go through the manual. And yeah, as you can see, this is a user manual book, and this can be used by electricians because there is a part whereby it is giving you instructions or it is directing you on how to terminate the meter, and it can also be used by the customer or the person who is using the meter. This can be the person who is consuming the power. We start by putting our batteries correctly, making sure the polarity is fine, positive, negative. Yeah, once we are through with this process, then we go to the next step, which will be pairing or configuring Hexcell. Pairing. We are now going to make these two parts of the meter become one, and the process is called pairing or configuration. and we start by entering our pairing code, which are 120, 320 plus meter number. For our case, we started by entering 12032046, and all our digits are supposed to be 17. Pairing code digits are supposed to be 6, and our meter number or the account number is supposed to be a number of 11 digits, so 17 digits. If you look our CAU on the left side, the upper side, as you enter or as you key in the numbers, all the digits, they are counting, and we started by 1 until they reached 17. So after entering our pairing code plus meter number or the ID number, our ID number is as well as meter number, you then press red on the CAU. Red is OK or enter. So you enter 120, 320 plus meter number, then you press OK or enter. Our CAU is supposed to accept. Remember very well, our CAU now will start working with our MCU because we have already paired them. Alright, so our next step will be commissioning of the meter. Commissioning is a process of authorizing something to start functioning or working. We are going to commission our meter by entering Hexcell commissioning code, which are 20 digits, and we start by entering 151407 7155 7724 5005 27, and then press OK. The red key on our CAU is the OK key or enter key. So you're going to press OK, and it will act. Pairing done, commissioning done. Now our meter is ready to be useful. But before we start using our meter, we have to buy token. You can buy token from your local token vendor or through M-Pesa. So if you happen to go to your local token vendor, what you need to go with you is the meter number. And then you'll be able to ask the operator the amount you intend to purchase. After payment, the operator will provide you with a receipt, which will be containing a 20-digit token. If you buy through M-Pesa, you'll be able to receive an M-Pesa text message with 20 digits. Once the token is purchased, we will use our UAU to enter the 20 digits token and press the enter key to complete the charging. Our enter key, remember I said, is the red key on our keyboard or on our UAU keyboard. So we enter 20 digits and press OK. You will realize that there is a clicking sound. If you are near the meter box, that clicking sound will be produced by our MCU. Just to remind you, as an electrician, you can activate this meter either inside the house of where that meter is wired with and use the power outlet, which is a socket, or else you can activate them from the meter box double pole. I always prefer the double pole or the MCB double pole inside the meter box because it is closer to the meter and that makes my work easier. So you may struggle a little, and if you happen to have a socket, you can connect your socket with the double poles. But if you have a partner, you don't have to do that. For me, I prefer using the double pole, and since I have my tester and I have a partner, it is easier. It's a 3-pin. I'll make sure that the 2 pins, which is neutral and live, touches my double pole terminals well and perfectly. But if you know very well that you can't manage from there, I would advise you to go in the house. Make sure that socket is on, whether you have the power or you don't have. In this case, if you're activating the meter, it means that house does not have a power, but your CIU got batteries, so you can be able to activate meter very comfortable, and believe me, it will be a success. We are now done with pairing, commissioning, and we have entered our token. Once you enter the token, the LCD screen of the CIU will display accept. Now we have the power in the house. Boom, the light. As an electrician, one thing or two things you note when you are activating these Hexcell meters is that it has 3 indicators. The first one is pass, the second one is tampering or communication indicator, and the third one is credit indicator. The pass indicator will flash when it's powered up, and the second one is tampering. When it is in tamper condition, the indicator will illuminate, and the third is the credit indicator. For the first time, if you haven't noted, is that this meter, when you load or when you recharge token, below or any token which is above 5 kilowatts per hour, the indicator will be green, unlike the other prepaid meters. When the token or the balance of the token is more than 20 kilowatts per hour, it is only the time it will indicate green. But for this one, anything to go with more than 5 kilowatts per hour, then the indicator will be green. If the token is 0 or less than 5, the indicator will bring in length, and if the credit is 0 or there is no token at all, the indicator will be red. This is for this meter, and that's something that I noted differently with other meters. You can see on our video that our MCU, some are blinking, like this one is blinking. This means the meter has been activated successfully and credited with a token less than 5, and that is why you see the indicator blinking. And for those that you can see them they are in lead and not blinking, it means they have been activated, but nothing has been recharged on them. The same case will happen to the CIO. Once you credit or once you recharge with a token less than 5, the credit indicator will blink continuously, and once you credit or you recharge with more than 5 units, the indicator for the credit will be green. Yeah, see on our video 1 meter is green. This means it was recharged with token more than 5 on 5. That's all for today's video in regards to Hexcell prepaid single fixed meter. Remember to support us by subscribing, share, like and comment. For the electricians, students who are doing electrical engineering, feel free to ask any question below the comment section. Thank you for watching.